Now I'm going to deliver here a presentation on. Hello friends, now I'm going to deliver here a presentation on positive. Positive is not a common word which we see in India, but this is very common in countries which is affected by severe winter. In order to understand the severity of the situation of this particular phenomenon, let us let me play one video which is in which this prostate is highly sensitized and how serious this problem in other countries. Let me let me explain you, or let me start this presentation by demonstrating this video first of all. These are the photos. These what is the problem? See, this happened because of the prostate, and they already marked it. That on the road you can see the mark, the red color. They made a mark or symbol also in that on the road. See, this is what. Hmm. Yeah, this was the porthole. These were the potholes created by the frost wave. Let me stop. Let me go to next slide. Yeah. So these all problems are very much common in winter countries which are affected by winter. Actually, now the reason for this particular potholes, potholes is frosty. And there was once a widely held belief among the rural inhabitants of several English countries the storms grew and multiplied. And to the farmers and laborers who worked the land, this explained how, when a field was cleared of stones, it would soon be littered no more. Actually, what was the thought? The stones grew from small pebbles in the soil, then somehow rose to the surface. Many people even believe that these pebbles themselves were the offspring of so-called mother or breeding stones. That they were calling them, they were calling this stone, this particular phenomenon, or the stones which were derived from this phenomenon as pudding stone. And in this video, let me explain, using this video, let me explain what is frost heaving and how will affect frost heaving in foundations. Sorry. This is the reason for those potholes and swelling of the soil. So, what is this frost heaving? Let us define this particular phenomenon. It's upward swelling of soil. It happens whenever groundwater on freezing expands, and it generally occurs when the freezing temperature penetrates the soil and turn the existing moisture. It will convert it into ice and thereby generating an upward movement in the soil. So is the this movement is called heaving, and the size of ice mass increases because of the continuous supply of moisture. Villain is capillary action. It's a very common action in or process in geotechnical engineering. And the soil weight may restrain the influence of ice and generate ice lenses. So this is called, so we can see where the a particular ground where this frost heave already occurred, and this particular soil where it happens is called toad soil, and it's coalesced ice rich soil, and ice grows toward the surface and upwards from the depth in the soil where the freezing temperatures have penetrated into the soil. This leads to swelling of soil. Mechanism. What is, let us go through into the minute mechanism of this frost heaving. Actually, in order to grow this ice, in order to for formation of ice lines, what you require? We require water supply. We require such a water supply that delivers water to the freezing point, freezing front. And how can we achieve? This is achieved by capillary action in certain soils. We have to highlight two phrase words. One is capillary action, other certain soils. Let us explain further this mechanism. As freezing temperature penetrates into the soil, it converts the soil's moisture into ice. When moisture at freezing area, as you can see in the figure, solidifies, water from other parts of the soil also is moving forward to the freezing area. This happens due to capillary action. So what will happen? There will be an increase in the size of the ice mass. So soil weight and other objects above would restrain this ice growth, and consequently ice lenses are formed. The weight of this overlying soil restrains the vertical growth of the ice and can promote the formation of lens-shaped areas of ice within the soil. Force of one or more growing ice lenses itself is sufficient to lift a layer of soil as much as 1 foot or more. So one growing ice lens itself is sufficient to lift a layer of soil. Let me elaborate on this aspect a little more. You can see this is particular figure of a pavement. You can see subgrade, surface course, and below that base is there are three layers. One is subgrade, base, surface course. In this figure, you can see the water in large void space freezes into ice crystals along the plane of freezing temperature. And that one part below, the lowest most portion is unfrozen subgrade, and just upper that you can see frozen subgrade. So that is a plate of freezing temperature. So water is all coming to up. Not it's due to capillary action, it comes to this particular layer, and ice crystals attract water from adjacent voids, which freezes on contact and forms larger crystals. So frozen ice crystals from the unfrozen ground also water is water is moving from the unfrozen layer portion to the frozen portion, and the crystals continue to grow and join, fed mostly by capillary water, and thereby ice lens are formed. So vertical pressure exerted by ice lens, this is due to this ice lens vertical pressure, surface is getting heaved, and that's why it's called frost heave. What are the problems of this particular, even if it happens, what is an issue? We will think that it happens, but we have already seen in the introductory slide itself, I have already demonstrated you when the problem happening in payments. Generally these problems are very much common in payments. There are some other places also which were disturbed by this particular process. So this can crack road surfaces. So it's very much common in springtime pothole formation, and can damage, as we already saw in the introductory slides, building foundations may be damaged. And this may occur in mechanically refrigerated cold storage buildings and ice rinks. Such buildings, this phenomena is quite common in winter countries. This is, I think, new people might notice this particular needle ice even in Shimla or in India. It's also this weekends in the ground. So this is called needle ice. We call it as needle ice. This is the reason. This we can see at the ground itself. The sign of this particular frost wave can be even visible at a ground in this form of needle ice. Dominant cause of soil displacement in frost heaving is the development of ice lenses. Already explained. Ice lenses displace the soil above them, and these lenses grow by the continual addition of water from a groundwater source. There must be a groundwater source, and that is very much lower in the soil. That causes a continual addition of water from below. That is the reason for the formation of ice lenses. We can see a typical figure of this one building which is affected by frost heaving can be seen in this slide. So there may be in freezing season channels may be constructed and the load carrying capacity of subgrade will be declined. Pavement, in pavement there will be considerable damage. Foundations and slabs may be damaged because we have already seen in the introductory slide there may be gaps created by this freezing phenomena. And these are some effects which quite common in cold countries, colden countries. How much concrete is damaged because of this, and pavement is also damaged due to. Now let me go to some geotechnical part of the of. Let me go to some soil mechanics part of this frost heaving. Soils, this particular phenomena is not common in all types of soil. It only occurs in frost susceptible soil. Now, what is frost susceptible soil? The soil through which water passes. So that particular soil, in that soil, water it must be possible for water to pass. It must be possible water to pass to feed the formation of ice lenses, and it must be sufficiently porous. And this must not be not only that when it is sufficiently porous only there will be capillary action, but it must not be not so porous. If it is so much porous, what will happen? Capillary continuity will be broken. So there are many conditions. If frost heaving to occur, there are so many conditions to be satisfied. Let us go in detail to that aspect now. So this is a very much common in silty soil on the left side and loamy soil on the right side. For pore sizes between particles and particle surface area must promote capillary flow. So this happens generally in silty and loamy soil types. Why? Because they contain fine particles. So these soils are examples of frost susceptible soil. There is one particular condition given by we can see in your various standards. Whenever when you want to call a soil as frost susceptible, this is a condition to be satisfied. 10% or more constituent particles pass through 0.075 mm sieve, or 3% or more pass through a 0.02 mm sieve. Then only the soil is frost susceptible. Let me go in detail into Casagrande criterion. Casagrande is very much worked in this particular. He worked widely in this particular process. He has worked a lot in this particular about this particular process. Under natural freezing conditions and with sufficient water supply, one should expect considerable ice segregation in non-uniform soils containing more than 3% of grains smaller than 0.02 millimeter, and in very uniform soils containing more than 10% smaller than 0.02 mm. No ice segregation was observed in soils containing less than 1% of grains smaller than 0.02 mm, even if the groundwater level is as high as the frost line. So even if the groundwater level is so high, soil, it will not happen in all types of soil. This was observed by Casagrande. We can call this particular criterion for frost heaving as Casagrande criterion. An application of Casagrande criterion requires so how will you ensure, how will you see, how will you find out this if you have particular soil during at the time of soil investigation, how can you predict this one particular soil will be susceptible or not? The method is very, we generally you do all soil mechanics engineers know this test is called hydrometer test. When you do it, we can see that we can find out what are the particles size distribution and whether particle size distribution is coming within this limit or not, that we have to check. Now, there are non-frost susceptible soil. If the soil is too dense, then there will not be any water flow. It must be, if the soil is so permeable, we call permeability, must be very, very high. Sorry, if the soil is very much permeable like sand and gravel, then there is no chance of frost heaving. It must not be so much open so that capillary flow will not be even promoted by such soil. So the soils must not be so dense, soil must not be so permeable, soil must not be too much open, too much porous. So dense clays with small pore size. So clays even in fine soils. I already shown you loamy soil and silty soil. There are so many chances of this frost heaving to occur. But dense clays is very small pore size. Frost heaving is very. We can tell that it will not occur. Clean sands and gravels, such types of soils frost heaving don't occur, does not occur. Refrigerated building. In refrigerated buildings, foundation is placed on frost susceptible soils, and that water table within the reach of freezing point, the floors of the structures may heave. I already explained what reason for that particular mechanism. So what must be the strategy as a geotechnical engineer? What strategy we have to do? We have to include the placement of non-frost susceptible soil beneath the foundation. So when you have a foundation, you keep soil always. You can keep non-frost susceptible soil beneath the foundation, and you can add insulation also to diminish the penetration of the freezing front, and you can heat the soil beneath the building sufficiently so such a way that freezing will not occur. What are the controlling factors for frost heaving? The soil must be frost, the first condition. Soil has to be frost susceptible. We already explained what soil will be frost susceptible, and there must be sufficient quantities of water availability, and cooling conditions also must be there. There is some thermodynamically it has to be satisfied. If one condition is not satisfied, let me tell you that there is water available in sufficient quantity. Cooling conditions also occur, but there is soil is not so susceptible to soil. This condition will never happen. So very much there are chance of frost heaving is very much minimal in such cases. There are some additional factors which we have to consider, that is rate of heat removal, temperature gradient, soil permeability, depth of water table, soil type of condition. In order for the if you want to give a comprehensive presentation on frost heaving, these all aspects also to be included, and we have to think much into these areas also. Otherwise, this topic will not be complete. And where the subgrades changes from clean, not frost susceptible sands to silty frost susceptible will material, there is also chance of differential heaving. The abrupt transitions will happen in some cases where cut to fill with groundwater close to the surface. In such cases, differential heaving can also occur. Excavation exposes water-bearing strata, drains, culverts, etc. This will frequently result in abrupt differential heaving because there are different backfill material and compaction is different, and there is open buried pipes also will change the thermal condition, that is the heat resulting in more frozen soil will be removed to do this. So this, when I explained you this particular topic, I have shown you problems of frost heaving generally in foundation pavements and foundations and pavements. Now, this phenomena is also common in tunneling, and this happens when you freeze the ground. In order to, so there is one particular technology, I don't know whether you are aware or not, ground freezing. This ground freezing is a ground improvement technique that we follow in tunneling. For excavation, we will improve the ground and then we excavate. In such cases, what will happen? This frost heaving is also common in the ground, frozen ground. This frozen ground has where we have adopted the technology of ground freezing to improve the ground. Frost heaving is also common. The hazard of frost heave mainly consisted of the oversize of the frozen soil volume. Where the soil is oversized, is frozen, it is common. What will happen? It's taking so much time freezing, and there is no any control measure properly done of frost heave. We have not considered this aspect while we design ground freezing or while we do this freezing, ground freezing on the ground. At that time, so in such cases, there are chances of frost heaving to occur. So what we have to do, whether the soil is the chance of sensibility. So sensibility of a soil to frost heave, that also to be ascertained by some tests like frost heave test we have to do at some patches. Is it possible for that particular ground to heave or not? That also to be checked before adopting this technology in tunneling. So we must avoid long time for freezing. That is a danger area. And during the excavation, cooling energy consumption should not be provided too sufficient, and the control measures of the flow stage should be carried out. This we are given. We have given one pre-stressed steel ring also for the tunnel structure protection. So in order so anything happen, the steel ring will be taken care of the frost heaving. Provision of frost heave. Now, what can we do to prevent this frost heaving? Frost heave prevention systems such as hydronic heating system shall be provided, and extend foundations such as piers below the frost line that we generally do. Provide backfill material I already explained such as gravel around foundations first to encourage water drainage. We have to use sleeve to avoid ice from gripping the concrete. Construct footing that withstands upward movement. For road construction, we have to replace grain frost susceptible soil with coarse granular soil. Use capillary breaker so as to prevent movement of water towards freezing front and constant. So this upward movement has to be stopped. So that we generally give this capillary breaker, and very important, we can do very easy method to stabilize the soil by lime, cement, whatever. So these are the various methods and of preventing frosting. See, frosting is not a very common phenomena in geotechnical engineering which we generally encounter. So why did I do a presentation on this is for me also to do some research in this area, and I just want to share you this information, and I like to learn more also so that we can get more knowledge in this field. So if you have any queries or if you have any doubts or if you have any, you can also question me, though this is not like that. This happened something like that. If you have any experiences in working in such soils or such conditions, I'm extremely happy if you share such experiences, and your questions, please, are always welcome. And so I'm welcoming you to raise your questions and raise your doubts and raise your experiences, and to improve my knowledge also. Please give me suggestions so that I can also improve. And I'm going to add more and more slides of topics, such topics in the coming days. Extremely, I'm very, thank you very much. Thank you all of you.